On a Tuesday morning in October, Marcus did something he had done almost every day for 6 years. He arrived at the office 20 minutes early. He made 2 coffees, one for himself, one for the new hire he'd been mentoring for the past month. He sat down at his desk, opened his laptop, and began walking her through the client renewal process, step by step, the way he always did. Patient, thorough, generous with his knowledge. By Friday afternoon of that same week, Marcus would be sitting in a small meeting room with HR and a box for his belongings. He just didn't know it yet. Marcus had worked at the Toronto branch of a mid-sized insurance brokerage for 6 years. He'd started as an accounts coordinator and worked his way up to senior accounts manager. Not through politics, not through luck, but through being reliably, quietly excellent at his job. He managed the firm's largest commercial accounts. He was the person clients asked for by name. He trained almost every junior hire who came through the department because his manager, Patricia, knew Marcus, explained things clearly, and never made anyone feel stupid for asking questions. Marcus liked his job. He liked Patricia too, or thought he did. She'd hired him. She'd promoted him twice. She'd written him a glowing review just 8 months earlier that used words like indispensable and the backbone of this team. In March, Patricia told him the company was bringing in additional support for the department, junior staff, to help manage the growing client load. She asked Marcus specifically if he'd mentor the new hire, show her the ropes, get her up to speed on the major accounts. Marcus said yes immediately. That was simply who he was. The new hire's name was Jennifer. She was sharp, asked good questions, and picked things up fast. Marcus found himself genuinely enjoying the process of teaching her, walking through client histories, explaining the quirks of specific accounts, showing her how to handle the difficult renewals that required a delicate touch. What Marcus didn't notice, because why would he, was how often Patricia stopped by during these training sessions, how she'd linger near his desk, how she'd ask Jennifer afterward, in private, how the sessions were going, what Jennifer had learned, whether she felt ready to take on more. The first sign something was wrong came in early September, though Marcus didn't recognize it as a sign at the time. Patricia asked him to compile a complete handover document for his 3 largest accounts. Just for continuity, she said, in case you're ever on holiday and someone needs to step in. It seemed reasonable. Marcus spent 2 full days building it. Client histories, key contacts, renewal dates, the specific preferences and sensitivities of each account. Thorough as always. He didn't think to ask why a document like that hadn't been needed in the previous 6 years. Through September, Jennifer began joining client calls. Not leading them, just observing, Patricia said, building familiarity. Marcus thought nothing of it. It was good practice for her development. By the last week of September, Jennifer was handling small client queries independently. Marcus noticed this vaguely, the way you notice background changes in a place you're comfortable in. He mentioned it to a colleague once, almost as a compliment to his own training. She's coming along well, isn't she? What Marcus didn't see was the email chain. It existed on a thread he was never copied into. Patricia, the regional director, and HR. The subject line, if he'd ever seen it, read, Accounts Manager Restructure, Q4 Transition Plan. The body of the email, dated 3 weeks before Marcus built his handover document, outlined a plan to eliminate his role as part of a departmental efficiency review and redistribute his accounts to Jennifer at a lower salary band. A savings, the email noted, of $41,000 annually. Marcus had not been restructured because his performance had dropped. He had not been restructured because the company was struggling. He had trained his own replacement in full view with his own generous patience because Patricia had identified that he would do exactly that if asked the right way. On the Thursday before the Friday he was let go, Marcus spent the afternoon helping Jennifer prepare for a client renewal call scheduled for the following Monday. He talked her through every detail. He told her she was ready. He had no idea he was talking himself out of a job he'd spent 6 years building. The meeting on Friday afternoon lasted 11 minutes. Patricia delivered the news with practiced neutrality. Restructuring, redundancy, nothing personal, a generous severance package given his tenure. HR slid a folder across the table. Marcus signed nothing that day. He asked for time to review it, which was his right, and which visibly irritated Patricia more than she intended to show. He did not argue. He did not raise his voice. He picked up the small box of his belongings, said a polite goodbye to the 2 or 3 people still in the office, and went home. That weekend, Marcus did 3 things. He read the severance agreement line by line, twice, and found a clause that prohibited him from disparaging the company, but said nothing about disparaging individuals. A distinction his cousin, a junior associate at a labour law firm, confirmed was unusual, but not unheard of, and very possibly an oversight. He went through his old work emails, which he still technically had access to until Monday, and found the email chain. The one with the subject line about Q4 transition planning. The one that had been sent while he was being asked to prepare a continuity document. He forwarded it to his personal account, quietly, calmly, and he made one phone call to a former colleague, Aisha, who had left the firm 18 months earlier under circumstances Marcus had never fully understood, and who now worked at one of the brokerage's largest competing firms across the city. He didn't ask her for a job. He asked her if her firm was hiring. Aisha's firm was hiring. They had, in fact, been trying to win 2 of the exact commercial accounts Marcus had managed for years. Accounts whose contacts knew him personally, trusted him specifically, and had told him more than once that they only stayed with the brokerage because of how well he managed their business. Marcus joined Aisha's firm 5 weeks later as a senior accounts manager at a salary 12% higher than what he'd been earning before. He did not poach the accounts directly. He was careful about what his severance agreement actually restricted, and he had read it twice for a reason. But when his 2 largest former clients called him directly on his personal mobile to ask where he'd gone and whether he could still help them, because Jennifer, for all her promise, was 3 months into the job and visibly out of her depth on accounts this complex, Marcus simply told them the truth. He'd moved firms. He'd be happy to discuss their business if they reached out to his new company through the proper channel. Both accounts transferred within the quarter. Combined, they represented just under $400,000 in annual revenue. Patricia was asked by the regional director to explain how the restructuring that was meant to save the company money had instead cost it 2 of its most valuable commercial accounts within 90 days. The email chain Marcus had forwarded to himself never needed to be used publicly. Its existence, mentioned once, calmly, in a conversation Marcus had with a former client who happened to mention HR was asking questions, was enough to make its way back through the building on its own. Jennifer, to her credit, lasted another 8 months before leaving for a different firm entirely. One with, as she reportedly told, a mutual contact, an actual training program, not just whoever's desk was closest. Patricia is, as of this year, still at the brokerage. She was not promoted again. Marcus doesn't talk about what happened as revenge. He's almost insistent about that point when he tells the story. He says he simply did what any reasonable person would do when let go without cause. He looked after himself, used the knowledge and relationships he had built honestly over 6 years, and let the truth move through the building at its own pace. He still trains a junior staff at his new firm. He says he hasn't changed that part of who he is. He's just slightly more careful about what he writes down. Patricia thought she was being efficient. She mistook generosity for naivety and underestimated how much trust 6 years of good work actually builds. Marcus didn't have to destroy anything. He just had to stop protecting people who were never protecting him. Have you ever trained someone who ended up replacing you? Did you see it coming, or did it catch you off guard, like it did Marcus? Tell me in the comments.